Happy Sunday and good morning. And we are live. We're back. ATW All Things Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, joined by Miss Ellie G. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am wonderful. We're back. It's been a couple weeks, but we are back. And oh boy, there is a lot to talk about. I guess what's going on right now is if you're not under a rock, you know that the WWE is holding their annual draft for both the Raw and SmackDown shows. They're doing it a little different this year. So we caught last night, or not last night, Friday night, SmackDown was the start of the draft. But before we get into all of that, let's actually talk about some news. Man, we've been off for a couple weeks, but oh boy, never a shortage of news happening in the WWE, AEW. Where do we begin? I would say let's start with this. WWE was fired some time back for objecting to racist stereotypes in wrestling scenes, whether that's promos or storylines, whatever the case. So we'll just kind of give you a little bit about information about it. So a writer was warned to carefully pick and choose her battles after speaking up about racist stereotypes written into wrestling scene scripts, according to a federal lawsuit. Um, this isn't anything new, but we'll jump to a few of the examples, I guess. She repeatedly objected to racist stereotypes meant for black and Muslims wrestlers to act out. Um, I mean, she was a former SmackDown writer. She's suing the WWE. She was
I
one of
wonder
the
if
lead
we're
writers.
trying to write and get by.
What is that?
Get by. Like, how bad was it? Or anything, right with writing specifically like that. But I don't know. How far do you think they were going? I mean, we've seen how far they've gone in the past.
I mean, yeah, it keeps making its rounds. All these Vince McMahon little clips here and there. Him with John Cena, him with other wrestlers. Booker T has been known to speak out against Vince McMahon and some of his writing and some of the words that have been said on air. Vince McMahon dropped the N-word to John Cena. I don't know, what was that, like 12, 13 years ago? I guess what's really coming out about this is real big names like Bianca Belair. She was asked to kind of be ghetto in some promos and this and that, and she declined, and it's not a part of her personality whatsoever. She felt uncomfortable. This lawsuit is just shining a big spotlight on WWE, and I'm curious to how the new owners, Endeavor, who also owns the UFC, is at all even going to address or handle this problem. What do you think?
I mean, considering what happened with Dana White, he slapped up his wife and basically, was like, come on, come at me. You're not going to do anything. And they didn't. I think with Vince being embroiled in so many lawsuits, I don't see what's the draw to keep him on, period. And come on, can we evolve the product to not be stereotypical? But then there's the rub, I think, is some people are ghetto. Some people are, maybe they personally do kind of represent the stereotypes. When you see Latinas coming down and holding a chancla and trying, using Latino stereotypes. For one, I wonder, is that written? Does that performer feel comfortable doing that? Or do they feel like a sellout? And where is that line of, this is who I am, and I'm free to represent that, and you are using me as a caricature to sell tickets?
Right.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it's so crazy. It's entertainment, right? It's entertainment, but where does it cross lines, right? I mean, it's just there's always a big blur there, especially when you're watching wrestling. But I really scratch my head at some of these segments, especially in years past during the Attitude Era. There's a lot of questionable things. But since you brought up Dana White, yeah, I mean, Endeavor owns the UFC. Dana White, I'm just going to give you exactly what Dana White said when he talked about the domestic violence
Focus is
issue.
on them. These guys have trained hard and got ready for this fight. What happened on New Year's Eve is my mistake, not theirs. And obviously, nobody's more about free speech than me. If somebody, if one of the fighters wants to come out and voice their opinion on it and whatever it might be, then by all means. I'm sure you guys have seen the TMZ video and seen my interview. It was obviously a horrible personal experience, and there's no excuses for it. It's something that I'm gonna have to deal with and live with for the rest of my life. And one thing that I do want to clarify in this thing that I didn't talk about on TMZ because I didn't expect it and I didn't see it coming is the people that are defending me. There's never an excuse. I'm sure you guys have read some of the same stuff that I've seen. There's no defense for this, and people should not be defending me over this thing, no matter what. All the criticism that I have received this week is 100% warranted and will receive in the future. What should the repercussions be? You tell me. I take 30 days off. How does that hurt me? I mean, I told you guys when we were going through COVID could last 10 years. I could set it out and, you know what I mean? What would be the problem? It's much like COVID, actually. Me leaving hurts the company, hurts my employees, hurts the fighters. Doesn't hurt me. I could have left in 2016.
So
that's such an ego.
I mean, he compared him smacking his wife in front of hundreds, if maybe not thousands of people at a nightclub on New Year's Eve to COVID? What the fuck is he talking about? And never once said he, hey, I would like to take the time to apologize to my wife. Like, he's like, what do you want me to do? Sit home? What is that going to do? If I killed somebody, I mean, what do you want me to do? Go to jail? I mean, that hurts me. It doesn't hurt. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, so here is your representation of the UFC, which is owned by Endeavor. And now Endeavor is the owner of the WWE. So these are the kind of representation that the UFC has. He's the face of the UFC. Unfortunately, Vince McMahon is the face of the WWE. I mean, where the fuck do you go with this? Is this lawsuit? Go ahead. Sorry.
It's a good old boys club. It's a bunch of old white men running things the same way as they used to in a culture that is trying to evolve. Although we're being taken way backwards with all of the women's rights being taken away, it's such a much bigger issue than just this, right? But I think, honestly, I think the beginning part, he was much more contrite than I expected. I've heard about this. Right. I didn't actually see the interview with him. He was more contrite than I had expected, but let's not act like this was the first time he's probably slapped up his wife. How long have they been married? What?
No, I said, but then he turned into a royal asshole. So it's like, they're like,
yeah, yeah. Well, what are you going to do with me? What are you going to do to me? But, in all honesty, that I don't necessarily disagree with him outside of firing him. And tell me exactly why Dana White is going to fire him. It will hurt the company. I'm sorry. There's shit tons of talent out there. Who's Jimmy? Your friend Jimmy that has been on the podcast a few times.
Jimmy Smith. You're talking about the announcer?
Yes. I could see him being Dana White. I could see him taking over and doing something. He's so charismatic. I mean, let's not act like Dana White has something that over everyone else. But, when you talk about parlaying the ownership from UFC to, to WWE, it's the same shit, different day. And I think that it was, having the talent get up and walk out and say, I'm not taking this shit. I think they need to have more of a say in what is happening with their characters. I just don't. I want to know the people. That's how I like wrestling. That's how I like my entertainment. Like, I want to know the real one. I guess nowadays you really just don't get that with como se dice, the like reality TV shows and whatnot. You don't ever really get to know somebody. Everyone's a character, but I think it would be more endearing, especially people of color, right? Representation matters. It's, my children are half Mexican and half white, and I want people on TV playing a character. Yes, they are acting, they are wrestling, they are extremely amazing athletes, but bring some of themselves to it so that kids can really latch onto that. It's not as if these people are not entertaining. I mean, you can't get into wrestling without being an outgoing personality as it is. But why do we gotta make a negative stereotype? So much so that writers are walking out.
Right. I mean, we could parlay this. We could parlay this from the racial discrimination lawsuit to Dana White to now we could kind of talk about this new controversy, kind of segue into Britt Baker. So if you're not familiar with Britt Baker, I know you're not too well versed on the AEW product, but she's been one of the long-standing women there over in AEW. She was a longtime AEW Women's Champion, but a new shirt had just come out with her,
yes,
and her having a black eye, and it has drawn so much controversy because they're saying that they're somehow glorifying domestic violence. And I'm trying to find. I know I had sent a picture of you or a picture of her to you with the shirt on it, but I can't find the image online for some reason. I don't know if AEW scrubbed this and I can't find it anywhere, but it's really odd. But she did release a statement, and I'm trying to find it. But anyways, violence against women in wrestling. I know you haven't seen a lot of these intergender matches, but recently we had Alyssa Marino on, and she talked about it. I know you haven't seen too much of it, but what would your kind of stance be with men wrestling women? I know Rhea Ripley has called out some guys, and she wants to wrestle some men. I think some people might have their reservations about this because of violence against women. So, I mean, Dana White, I didn't hear an apology out of his mouth for, hey, you know what I did was wrong. I apologize to my wife and to the UFC. I mean, nothing. I mean, there's a sense of entitlement. There's a sense of entitlement that is just there with not only men in power, but I mean men, period. This new T-shirt, I'm gonna find it, but I'll let you talk. The shirt has Britt Baker on it with the black eye, and there's no context. So if you're not a wrestling fan, you have no idea what this is. Are you just glorifying women getting beat up? I mean, what do you think about this?
I think it's a really gross way to make money, to draw attention to your company when you've got jack shit going on. I think it's not good for women. It's not, when we talk about the intergender matches, I think, they're professionals. The men and the women are professionals. And I think if you can act professionally, and it's not this blood, guts, and gore, if it doesn't come across as a man just whooping a woman's ass, and it's even, and just like any other match, I would say I wouldn't want to see a man working stiff on a woman, but a woman working stiff on a man. But see, it's a double standard. I think it would be entertaining to watch if it was done professionally. And if they were matched up appropriately. meaning size-wise. Rhea Ripley, that's a big woman. She is jacked. She is rather tall. She only looks like she can hold her own. Would I want to see someone like Liv, horrible with names, teeny tiny woman against somebody? Maybe somebody like Rey Mysterio, sure, but not a big man. No, I find that very not entertaining. And as far as the t-shirt goes, come on, if it had some sort of advertising on it so you knew what it was, but even the photo itself, her hair is covering the other side. She looks upset. She doesn't look like she's just had an amazing match. She's, it looks like she has been abused. I think that's, oh God, I just have nothing but contempt for that. And for the, whose idea was it? Again, you don't really know whose idea it was. Is it Tony Khan trying to get some publicity? Is it her coming up with this concept? Why are they not including AEW signage on it? Why does it just look like a woman who's been abused? If that, what is good about this? Tell me what it says about AEW. What is the bring here, and who is your audience? This bad business. It's bad business. How do you draw other female going to represent them? Are any men coming out with words like this?
Well, I have her rebuttal.
The marketing department, bro.
I have her rebuttal. Can you see it up on the screen?
So she's for this.
She says, she tweeted this. So supports domestic violence how? ? Exclamation point. I got a black guy in a ring. My enemies put a pic on a shirt to troll me, and I outsmarted them. Does that mean that all the top selling bloody t-shirts are supporting murder? If a male wrestler had a shirt with the black eye on it, would you be pissed? And then she posts a picture of
if it had
her. Sorry, I got this isn't the shirt that just came out. Yeah, this shirt didn't just come out. This is an older shirt, but she posted this picture of CM Punk and MJF, and I don't even know what the hell she's really talking about, but I don't know. The internet is.
Do you see the smile?
Yeah, right.
Do you see the smile on that guy's face? Do you see the verbiage? What is the verbiage on that shirt with the woman?
Oh, it says role model.
What says it under?
A DMD, which is her name because she's Dr. Britt Baker and she goes by DMD. I don't know. That's her. Is that what DMD stands for? Dentist? Because she's an actual real dentist in real life.
That is a very smart thing to be in if you're going to be a wrestler.
Right. Well, someone had. I'm on Twitter.
Is there a website? Is there?
I would say I'm on Twitter, which is a black hole, and people are just fucking bashing this. But one of the top replies to this says, "Can't believe AEW is trying to make money on a T-shirt that supports domestic violence." I mean, I wouldn't say that AEW supports domestic violence, but a shirt with no context to me is kind of stupid. It says this shirt in the eyes of the public is going to cause more harm than good. A lot of people that don't even know what AEW stands for, and some dude wearing it in a bar proudly, shaking my head. A lot of black guys. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I understand shock. Controversy creates cash, right? But there's certain things that I'm not sure if those things should be creating cash, because I think it's dumb to have that T-shirt. I understand what she's saying, that some women wrestlers that she's feuding with, they went ahead and made the shirt, and then AEW started selling it to troll her, but she really doesn't have any defense.
But why not put AEW? Why not put, the name of the match or something? I don't, just with zero context. But either way, it's a shit shirt. It's shit. You wear it at a bar, you're promoting hitting women. And the way that the world is right now, with all the hatred towards everybody, I saw there was like an Aryan fucking thing going on in Ohio. They were protesting drag brunch that was trying to raise money for something.
Oh,
and it's
wow.
like, with all the hate in the world right now, why do you want to perpetuate it? Like, get out of that business of trying to make money off of this. Go make money off of something that you're good at. Making t-shirts you aren't good at.
I mean,
Next.
it's in bad taste, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's tone deaf. It's tone deaf. I don't know. I just, it's crazy. The wrestling world is it's a whole it's a whole thing. I'm flustered thinking about it because I'm like, I don't have any defense for AEW. I think they should pull this shirt down immediately. And for me, not being able to find the image, I wonder if they're already starting to pull it down. But she's in
It would
support
be
of it.
smart. I mean, does Tony Khan even have a marketing department? Does he have anyone telling him, like, this may not be a good idea? This is not going to go well for you. It seems like a real crackerjack thing they got going on over there.
No, I think he's just sitting somewhere and just saying, yep, that works. Yep, that works. Speaking of Tony Khan and talking about AEW, a man that we cannot stop talking about in the wrestling world is CM Punk. And right now, CM Punk is basically everywhere and anywhere except for AEW. So CM Punk was just recently spotted backstage at WWE. I think it was Monday Night Raw. He was spotted backstage Monday night, and then he just showed up also at Impact Wrestling. He was backstage at Impact, and we'll go ahead and we'll show right here. He was with one of the women's champions at Impact, but yeah, he is everywhere but AEW. And it looks like he's just Where's Waldo right now. CM Punk's just taking pictures with everybody and you know, living it up. Meanwhile, AEW fans and everyone else, they have no idea what's going on with him. They have no idea if he's ever showing back up or what the case may be. So many rumors flying about CM Punk. Is he coming back to AEW? You know, months back they were saying, is he rumored he's going to show up at the Royal Rumble? When he showed up backstage at WWE Monday Night Raw, some of the chatter that was coming online was saying that people were not very impressed with him physically. So I don't know if they're saying that he looked out of shape and he's not really ready to wrestle. There's rumors about him coming back and ready to wrestle, but I don't know. I thought that was kind of shitty that they were throwing, as they say, throw shade at CM Punk, that people backstage were like, CM Punk looked like shit. They're like, he's definitely not showing back up in WWE. I don't think he'll be a draft pick on Monday night when they have the second night of the draft. So I don't know. I know that you're not too privy to CM Punk news, but do you think he's just fucking with AEW fans or just wrestling fans, period? He really does love to troll people.
He's just a pot stirrer. Let me get that. Pot stirrer. Yeah, he's just fucking around. I think he's getting so much press, he doesn't even have to wrestle. And when you say that they're saying that he doesn't look good, do you mean clear like in the ring, like he's rusty? Like, what do you mean?
No, like he was backstage shaking hands, trying to make peace with people maybe that he had beef with. And the word that was coming out was that he just didn't look that physically impressive. I don't know if people are trying to say he's out of shape or, I mean, he hasn't wrestled in shit like almost a year, maybe 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. But they're saying that he doesn't look good. So I don't think anybody is looking for him to come into WWE or AEW. Good morning, Hassan Terrell. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. So anyways, let's talk about something a little more interesting, the WWE 2023 draft. But first, WWE on Monday night, they announced a new belt. Now, I don't know. I had mixed feelings about this new belt. Let me pull this up so our audience can see it. Now, I apologize for being a little slow on things this morning, but just trying to get used to just adding some things to the show, mixing it up a little bit. I do got the picture of the belt. Triple H this week introduces the World Heavyweight Championship, which is a little reminiscent of the old WCW Big Gold belt. Now, there's been mixed reviews on it. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I'm not 100% sure on it. I kind of dig it. What do you think about the belt? You see, if our audience can see it, the WWE World Championship belt. Yeah. It's a little
I think
bit
it looks great.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. I don't know. People, they're so caught up with nostalgia and they just want everything from before, right? But it's like WWE hasn't had that big old WCW belt for a long time. And I don't know. I kind of dig it. So with that in mind, going back to the draft, Triple H announced that wherever Roman Reigns goes, he's basically going to be giving up the other belt. So as we know, the very first pick of the draft to SmackDown was Roman Reigns. So he's got the big blue and the big red belt. The red belt was basically the Raw Championship. The blue is the SmackDown. He's dropping the red belt. Will no longer have the red Raw Championship belt anymore. And I think he's just going to be the Universal Champion now or the SmackDown Champion. I don't know how they're really going to dub it. But that new World Championship belt is going to be on Monday Night Raw. So the very first pick for Monday Night Raw was Cody Rhodes. So I'm sure a lot of people are saying that, hey, Cody Rhodes is probably going to be the first champion. I'm not 100% sure. It's going to be defended, that new belt. I don't know how they're going to do this, if they're going to have a tournament. Hasn't been announced yet. Next Saturday is their last pay-per-view or premium live event, as they like to call it, before basically we kick into a new season and we see all the new faces on the different brands. So after Saturday, which will be the following Monday, which I believe is the 10th, that's going to be when like everything just restarts. So I don't know if they're going to announce like a tournament for that belt or whatever the case may be, but it's going to be defended in Saudi Arabia at the end of May for Night of Champions. So nothing's been really laid out on how they're going to do this, but it's going to be interesting. What do you think about Roman Reigns not actually having to be beaten in order for someone else to get another belt? Some people say that it takes away from whoever's going to get this belt. They're not going to be looked at in the same light as Roman Reigns. What do you think?
I'm just so done with the Roman Reigns, the whole saga that they've got going on. I don't really care. Get him over to the other side. Keep that belt. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. It's so stale. I was interested that the Usos didn't get taken with Roman and Paul Heyman and Solo, but so that'll be interesting. I hope they do separate them. I like all of these people individually. I'm just really tired of the whole bloodline saga that's been happening. Yeah, I mean,
I'm tired of it too, but in a way, I do love the backstage segments. They're all very funny characters. We talk about this, like, there's like these outtakes. You just see some of the Usos are just cracking up. Like, I don't know how they keep straight faces with some of this shit. And like Solo, I bet you Solo, like in real life outside, I bet he's probably like just like his brothers. They're probably all pranksters and
you think
just
so?
always trying to. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. But then again, he could be a real serious guy. But I don't know. I love the bloodline story. It does need to evolve. I think maybe if the Usos end up going to Monday Night Raw and then Solo, Roman, and Paul Heyman are on SmackDown, I mean, that pretty much breaks them up. And after this past Friday, Sami Zayn and KO, they beat the Usos. So that was their rematch. I don't think they're going to get another title shot in regards to the tag team championships. So, but if they ended up doing tag team championships,
and you see,
sorry, Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you see Solo, who Paul is, getting the word from Roman. Yes, that's the call. So what's Solo gonna do? What was he gonna do? Actually, he got taken off stage by the Bro. So
Yep.
I was very interested
Matt
to see,
Riddle.
was he going to be turning on the Usos, on his brothers, or not?
I don't know. I see. That's what I love. Like, they make you think, oh shit, is he going to come in there? Is he going to cost his brothers the match, or is he going to interfere and help them win? And this kind of shows you a little bit right here. This is from Solo's wedding. So these guys, I think they're silly. I think they're probably all goofy. Can you see the picture that popped up?
Oh, yeah, he looks so handsome. You never get to
So
see
this
him
was-
smile.
he just got
They're
married.
cute. They're so cute.
He just got married, I think, like a month ago, and this picture came out. I think there was a picture, I couldn't find it. It was the Usos holding Solo, like holding him, like, him laying across them. So yeah, I think these guys they're all pretty goofy and pretty silly. So anyways, I don't
I
know.
love that. They would be great uncles.
Probably, yeah, they're probably very entertaining. But the bloodline storyline, it's definitely going to be changing. There's rumors that Triple H, in a way, is punishing Roman because he had asked for time off. And he has been the champ for pretty much 3 years now. And if anybody deserves some time off, it's going to be Roman Reigns. But in the wrestling world, those spots, guys hold on to them for dear life, because if you leave, whether you get hurt, you take time off for a baby being born, or shit, you just need some fucking vacation time. And in years past, Vince McMahon would definitely punish people. And whether they be like, when they come back, they're just not given good storylines, or I mean, I don't know. Do you think that a guy that's carried the company for the last 3 years, doesn't he deserve some fucking time off?
Yeah, I think it's super shitty that that they be treated that way. He's successfully carried your brand and done everything you've asked, so far as we know as observers, and been entertaining as hell. I remember when he first came out, he was terrible on the mic. He has evolved as a performer. He's evolved as a character. And he's done such good things for the company and for them. I mean, rumors, it's not really rumors when Triple H is, standing there announcing it and practically rolling his eyes that that Roman's going to be switching sides. But, on one hand, how much of it is building, I don't know. Are they building a story arc that's going to be like he's anti-management eventually, like when he comes back? But yeah, if they give him a shitty storyline, if they're actually punishing him in real life for taking time off, I mean, what kind of bullshit is that? He has worked so hard, and all of the performers that go on every week, I mean, such a demanding schedule. They do deserve time off. I mean, in any other job, you get, 9 to 5 in a cubicle, you get some paid time off. Yeah, it's really unfair. And what a way to treat the performers that you make money off of.
Yeah, in a way, I mean, I get it. I mean, shit, if I was working my ass off, I would be like, I need some time off. I mean, the guy's got a family, he's got a wife, he's got kids. And I mean, these guys are on the road so much. I mean, he does have a limited schedule. So I do get that. And Triple H was kind of taking some shots at him, saying, oh, Roman has kind of made this into his contract. Like, hey, I'm not going to work as many days as some of these guys. And then he goes on to say, I'm going to give you a fighting champion, a guy that can defend the belt all over the world. But I do want to give our audience a take from Vince Russo, because Vince Russo always has something to say. And if you don't know who Vince Russo is one of the main writers from WWE back in the 90s. He was one of the guys that really helped create the Attitude Era. So he is responsible for guys like Stone Cold, The Rock, so many great storylines, but also so many shitty storylines from the Attitude Era. But then he took his ball, he went home, he went to WCW. And for those of you that don't know, he pretty much single-handedly ruined WCW. But let's hear what old Vince Russo has to say, because he's always has something to say about pretty much everything and anything. But let's hear what Vince has to say in regards to Roman. Here we go. Gotta love the intro here. Can you see this?
Raw.
Here we go.
My man, the former WCW World Heavyweight Champion, former WWE head writer. He is none other than Vince Russo.
That round of applause was for my foofy hair. I got foofy hair tonight. Long day, man.
This
Long
should be a
day.
short clip.
Bro, did work all day, then worked in the yard, then barbecued, bro.
Barbecue, nice.
Then sat through Raw,
I
bro.
could honestly give a fuck about this.
This is the tail end of it.
Hold on. This is supposed to be only 2 minutes, so let's see what he has to
I
say.
got bigger guns than he does.
Day with you,
Right?
man. It's always a pleasure. So,
Yes, you too, Dr. Chris.
indeed, man. We've already got super chats, man. So let's jump right into them.
Yeah, let's get
We've
to it.
got John Charles, 499 super chat, bro. Triple H is like the Nancy Pelosi of pro wrestling. He is gonna be here for 40 more years and burn the company down to the ground. Vince, what are your thoughts on that?
I got another question. Thank you very much, John. I got another question pertaining to Triple H. I was looking at Triple H closely tonight in the ring.
Yeah.
Listen, bro, I've aged, but thank God I have gone and experienced nowhere the stress level that Triple H had. I can't even imagine. Okay. With that being said, bro, I got a question. Chris, maybe you can answer this. Maybe Sports Kita Nation can answer this. Bro, did Triple H shave his head because he was balding, or did he just shave his head?
I believe it was like a corporate decision. Like he was just kind of getting into corporate land and just decided to shave his head because he had a full head of hair last time I remember. Right before.
No, I don't think so, bro. I don't think he went straight to the bald head.
Why are we
I think
watching
he
this?
kind of had like a crew cut.
No, he still had he went from like the
Is this
hair
going somewhere?
to-
Because this
he
is
chopped it all out.
really
He had a
riveting
little bit on the
content.
top.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It
Bro,
is supposed to be going
gotta
somewhere. Just
honest
hang
with you,
tight.
bro.
Hang
Like,
tight with
I
it.
think the guy looks horrible, bald-headed. That's why I'm
You
asking
should
the question.
vet
So, like,
before
I
you
honestly
just
didn't know.
pop them.
Bro, are you bald because you have no other choice, or do you?
All right. We're gonna shut him up.
Give you 5 seconds.
Right. So, anyways, a 60-year-old guy throwing around bro left and right. I mean, he's like bro this, bro that. So, anyways, he's saying that they're punishing Roman for wanting to take off time. He said he knows for a fact back in the 90s, Vince would punish people. I mean, this guy hasn't been with WWE in fucking 20 plus years, but he still thinks he has all the insight knowledge to this. And he's going on talking about how Triple H is fucking going bald and this and that. This guy he's bitter. He's a disgruntled former employee. But he seems to think he knows all the ins and outs of what's happening backstage now. I mean, if you were the head of a company and your main star was taking some time off, would you punish him, or would you just like go fucking take like a year off, come back, and maybe we'll give you the belt again? I mean, if you're running a wrestling company, how would you take care of your employees?
Right? Wouldn't you want them after working for that long, for that hard, and now the quite stale? How about we remove you, have some time off, enjoy your life for a little while, eat some stuff out of your diet, and then come back, in like a year, and you'll be fresh. You'll have recuperated anything that your injuries or anything. and then we can start again. Like, it would be fresh for the observers, for the fans, and it would be fresh for him. And then he could come back as a completely different character. I think that's just kind of makes sense. But punishing somebody, and then what? So he doesn't feel appreciated. How much time does he have left in his contract?
I mean, I think they got him locked down forever. He's never going anywhere. I don't think he's going anywhere. I mean, his family.
It certainly would not motivate me to bring my best when I do come back, if that's the way I was going to be treated.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, but is it like any other corporate company, right? Like, no matter how much you kick ass, you know, it's like it's more of a just what have you done for me lately attitude, right?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's just you don't cultivate the words are being lost. So let's just continue on. But that guy, Russo,
Bro.
ugh.
Now, I got something pretty interesting here from Bryan Danielson, formerly Daniel Bryan in the WWE. He has thrown out a pretty crazy idea, but maybe it's not that crazy. I want to get into it. He's talking about women in wrestling and how Bryan Danielson also likes to kick up some controversy. He likes to just throw things out there just to see what people are going to think. But he has an idea for a woman wrestler. He thinks it would be amazing. He thinks his daughter needs different types of role models. So here you see here, can we see it? You see Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan with his wife. Now he's got a pretty cool, killer idea that he says. He says, how cool would it be for his daughter to have an example of a woman in her life? And what he's talking about is he has an idea where a woman doesn't live up to beauty standards. So he was on his wife's podcast. He was saying, as a woman, you're expected to shave your legs. If you don't, you're gross. He's like, I've never once shaved my legs and no one has ever commented on it. To any female who's a professional wrestler or who would like to be a professional wrestler, I think it would be very interesting to have a female who didn't shave her legs or her armpits or anything. And they said, I'm not going to conform to what society expects from me. He says, how cool would that be? Now, what he's talking about is, you see the beauty standards for women in society. We all know what that looks like. But the women in the world of professional wrestling, I mean, these women are beautiful. They're physical. They're in shape. They're athletic. I mean, they're a whole different breed of athlete than we've ever seen in professional wrestling in years past. I mean, these women outshine the men, in my opinion. But what he's saying, do you agree with that? I mean, what do you think as a woman? If you saw a woman out there and she was just like, hey, I'm not going to try to come out here looking all sexy, looking all beautiful. I'm just going to come out here and kick some ass, and it doesn't matter what I look like. How well do you think that would be received? How well do you think it would go over? What are your thoughts on that?
My opinion would be to each their own. I think that every woman should have the choice to show up how she wants to on that stage, in the ring. It's not something that I would do personally, although I think that it would be nice to see the makeup pared down a bit, to see the vampiness toned down. But some women really enjoy doing that, you know, having that kind of persona and representing themselves that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not that way, so I wouldn't show up that way. But I think it would be nice to have a diverse cast for representation's sake. You know, we have a lot more people of color. We have people of all shapes and sizes. And I think that's great. I'd like to see even more of that happening. And yeah, I think we can challenge some beauty standards, and for the men too. You know, obviously we don't hold the men to the same standards. We've got some super duper jacked guys like Braun Strowman, and but then we got bigger guys who don't. I'm sorry, like who?
We got guys like Otis.
Exactly. You know, for each type of person, there's an audience out there, and I think it would open up another avenue of viewership, perhaps. Even having little people on. You know, there's whole these of little people wrestling. That's for a reason. You know, people find it entertaining. Is it what becomes exploitative? I can't think of the word. You know, when does it become more of
like a side
you're
show?
watching? Yeah, you know, like you got to be careful on stuff like that because that's not right. But if the people are signing up to do it, you know,
right,
then I would say, you know, that probably isn't going to be exploitative. But yeah, hell yeah, bring in, huh?
No, I would say, is it exploitative? I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not.
Not with that there.
No. So you agree?
But
you
yeah,
think
no, I'm
kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason that we should have to. We've got plenty of women who fit that bill of the kind of typical, you know, glammed up, ass kicking woman. Why not? You know, there's a few women who don't wear as much makeup that kind of aren't showing their body as much. And yeah, I mean, let the leg hair fly. I don't know. I mean, you wouldn't even really see. I guess you would see it. You would see it on like the close-ups when they get close up in the ring and they're doing their, you know, they're trying to get them to tap or whatever. But in general, I don't think you'd really even see it on camera.
I mean, if she was like, I don't know. I mean, if she was like growing a beard or something, I mean, that's like the only thing you're really going to be able to see like on camera. You can't see if they got leg hair or even, I guess, armpit hair. But that's what he was saying. He's like, just a woman that just doesn't give two shits about beauty standards. She's just going to come out and kick some ass. So, I mean, I guess they got to make sure that woman is definitely, she's ready to go. You know what I mean? Like that she's got to be.
Clarify. Hold on. Let's clarify real quick. Let's not say that she doesn't give two shits about beauty standards. She just might have a different standard of beauty. It doesn't mean that I have leg hair and it's gross and I don't care. It's a woman doing that is saying, I am embracing all of me. I am beautiful the way I am naturally. It's not saying fuck beauty standards. It's saying this is beauty as well.
I stand corrected. I think it would be an interesting. Hey, I'm sorry. I think it would be interesting though. I'd be down to see that. I love to see different things in wrestling, and if this
and
if
really
this
what
woman,
a stupid thing to be offended by, to be like, oh, I don't want to watch because she's got leg hair. Like, go fuck yourself. Who fucking cares? If she's killing it in the ring, that's all that matters. Judge somebody on the basis of their character and the basis of their performance. Not on what they look like.
I totally agree. You are absolutely right. So
I love hearing that.
Yeah. So that we're winding down today. It's been a lot of information on today's show. Talked about the draft. Yeah. I think upcoming next Saturday, premium live event, WWE from Puerto Rico is going to be WWE WrestleMania Backlash hosted by Bad Bunny. Are we going to see Bad Bunny get some action? Is he going to get in the ring? Last time we saw him get some action, he got put through a fucking table by Damian Priest.
He looked like a rag doll. I could not believe when I saw his head flopping. I felt bad for the guy. And didn't he hurt his shoulder?
It's part of the story. They're saying he hurt his shoulder for sure.
Is it just the story or is it true?
He looked like he got, I mean, unless he's made out of rubber, I mean, I think he he took a beating. Took a beating.
Yeah. He's a
Speaking of-
great sport.
Oh yeah. Speaking of celebrities, I mean Bad Bunny, Logan Paul. I mean these guys show they can get in the ring and mix it up. Are we going to see Logan Paul drafted on Monday night? Because we got night 2 of the WWE draft coming up. Some big names that were not mentioned on Friday. Logan Paul being one of them. Charlotte Flair was not mentioned Friday.
Yeah.
Asuka, when it comes to the men, Karrion Kross. I mean, there's so many names out there. Monday night's going to be really interesting when it comes to the draft. So I'm really looking forward. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Monday night. But I want to give a shout out to former WWE Women's Champion. You would know her as Naomi, but she is now going by her real name, Trinity Fatu, who is married to. Is she married to Jimmy or Jay?
Jimmy.
Okay. Well, she made her debut in Impact on Friday night. So there she is. She's going by her real name, Trinity. I was trying to find some video clips, but there wasn't really much to show. But now Trinity is giving some more validation to the women's division over in Impact Wrestling. So if you haven't checked out Impact, their women's division is pretty badass. I think it was a good choice for her for not going to AEW. AEW's caliber of women, I just don't think she'd be challenged. When her and Sasha Banks left last year, there was a lot of speculation. Where are they going to show up? Are they going AEW, NWA, Impact? Sasha Banks blew everyone away when she showed up in New Japan on New Year's Day and she won the championship. But Trinity was not anywhere to be found. And everyone kept saying, well, is she going to join Sasha in Japan? She's showing up at AEW. She really shocked everybody on Friday night when she showed up at Impact, and she definitely made her presence felt. So wish her luck. Hopefully, maybe she becomes a champion over there. But, yeah, Impact Wrestling, if you're not watching it, their women's division is legit. So definitely want to start getting a little more into that and checking that out. So we wish her luck.
Absolutely.
But that's going to do it for our show today. As you can see, LEG put all her contact info. You can see it on the screen. You find her on Instagram.
So I don't have to remember it.
Send her an email, right? So she don't have to say, oh, you can find me here. So the new season of WWE is upon us. And LEG says she's tired of the bloodline. So maybe we'll see the end of the bloodline story and Roman Reigns will take a nice extended vacation. Who do we think, or Ellie, who is your pick for the World Championship? Are you picking Cody, or would you like to see someone else win that? Maybe Seth Rollins? Who do you think is going to be the first new World Champion for Monday Night Raw?
I was going to say, once again, they're drawing out so much with Cody that I kind of would like an upset and it be somebody else. But considering what they're doing with the belts and like how he did not get it at WrestleMania, I do wonder what their long game is here. I don't know. I would just like to see something unexpected. I would like to not have it be exactly what you think it's going to be. So I won't give a name, but just throw a wild card in there. Give me someone brand new. Give me an underdog. But I guess yeah.
Cody is the underdog. But
yeah, I was say, but is he really?
I mean, he's never won the world title in WWE. So to me, that's an underdog. Are we looking forward to Cody taking on Brock Lesnar at Backlash? What kind of match is this going to be?
Hell yeah.
I can tell you one person I don't want to have that belt is going to be Brock Lesnar. I don't want to see that championship belt on him. He's won.
I mean, because he's not even. Yeah. I want to see it. I definitely want to see it. I mean, they are so physically. I mean, Brock is just so intimidating. He's so massive and he just takes control and commands the ring. But Cody, I mean, he's got such charisma, and he's such a likable spirit. You know, people, like you said, he is the underdog. You want him to win. I just don't want it to be. I want it to be a real brawl. That's what I want. I want it to be a real fucking brawl.
Right.
But I want to see. I'd see Cody win because, like you said, you know, we've seen Brock do it over and over and over.
I mean, and also he didn't get drafted. He has not been drafted yet. So I don't know if we're going to see Brock Lesnar drafted to Monday Night Raw or where is he going to show up? I mean, I think that's a big mystery. There was a lot of people saying he could retire, and this was pretty much going to be it for him. To me, I think he's got a lot left in the tank, but I don't think he needs a belt. I mean, he could put on some good matches with some guys. I mean, there's so many guys on Raw, and then I'm excited to see who else is going to be on Raw. Some big names that were drafted to Raw: Shinsuke Nakamura, Drew McIntyre. You got Cody Rhodes. I'm hoping Seth Rollins is going to be on Monday Night Raw. He's a guy I would love to see maybe have that belt too. So I don't know. It's going to be exciting over the next, I don't know. That Night of Champions is coming up at the end of May. I got to be honest, I usually don't watch the Saudi Arabia events, but I kind of see who wins this belt. You know what I mean? So maybe I'll just pretend that it's not in Saudi Arabia.
That's what we get the internet for.
That's true.
So we have the internet for. We don't need it.
But hey, that's going to do it. And we're going to wrap it up for today. I am your host, Tony Twist. This is ATW All Things Wrestling Podcast, and always joined by my co-host, Miss Ellie G. Thank you for putting up your contact information there, Ellie.
Yep.
That's where
Instagram.
you can find her. You guys have a wonderful Sunday. Don't forget to watch Saturday Backlash in Puerto Rico. Bad Bunny hosting. It looks like it's going to be a fun show. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on that note, we're out of here.